Us. 1 minute she was on my shoulders and I fucking dropped her through the fucking tennis table. She smashed straight through. There was fucking blood, shit, piss everywhere, like in our fucking ears and our hair. And that was the end of the fucking barbecue, obviously. And no, to cut long story short, no, it didn't rain that day. No.
Alright, okay. Hello everyone and welcome to the Out of the Hat podcast, the Peckham Poet podcast. I'm Will, with me is Tom.
Yes! Us!
With me is Mr. P as well.
Very good evening to you all.
How's it going? Felix as well.
Yeah, hi.
And Nina's all the way in the back, aren't you, Nina?
Yeah.
Hey, we're all here. How's it going, everyone? How's your weekend been?
Absolutely wonderful. Yesterday I drank a load of beers for the first time in ages.
Brilliant.
Absolutely pissed. Had an argument with some family members. Average family get together. Yeah.
Tom was telling me this story as we were walking over here, and I've never felt more disconnected from a story. I was like, nothing has ever happened like that in my life. He was telling me how he was, he was arguing with some people, and the way he was talking about it, I was like, this geezer. Anyway, welcome everyone, and what we're going to do is this is the a collaboration between the Lion's Den and the One Night Stand amateur open mic comics. We are all open mic comics. Working
Very open with our mics.
Very, very open. Very open. Not much comedians. A lot of open mic though.
I will display my mic. I never keep it away. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we are, and so what we do is the format of this show is that we take various subjects out of the hat because the format of the Lion's Den open mic comedy down in Piccadilly Circus is that we take the names out of the hat randomly. And so what better way to talk about subjects than in no random order, with no real arch or theme at all.
Exactly.
It
seems to be working so far.
Working being, you're using that very loosely there.
Yeah, it works well for us.
Yeah. In the sense that we have released podcasts. Yes. That is worked in that sense. Absolutely. So why don't we? Did you want to say something?
Well, it was actually going to be very interesting because I think it's the first time we haven't written anything down before the show. This is all old stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all just bollocks.
So we're getting down.
That was not good enough for the other podcasts.
So we're really getting down to the last bits of the dog shit, basically.
The dregs, what we've got.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Felix is shuffling. Why don't you pull out our first subject?
Okay.
Here she goes.
No cheating, no luck.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, yeah!
And what is it?
It doesn't work well that Felix cannot read at this distance.
Mr. P, can you read that?
For fuck's sake.
It says, "Wank till you gone blind."
Jesus.
Oh, that's one for you, Mr. P!
Are you starting off a known wanker?
You wanker!
Well, I have lost one eye due to it.
Do you know what?
I've dead a lot because I don't want to miss the other one.
Believe it or not, I didn't write that. I didn't even write that.
Someone's that dirty boy.
Isn't it true, Tom, that 90% of your jokes feature the word wank at least once?
They do. There are a lot of wank jokes in my act. Yeah.
You specialise.
It's all lies.
Your jokes.
You specialised very
It's
early
all
on.
lies, really.
Yeah.
Tom has specialised very early on in his career. Some people, they take a few years to find them. Tom got on there first of all and was like, I'm the wank comedian, that's who I am.
It is what it is. It's that protest because a lot of people see it as cheap and easy to just talk about your knob and wanking and arses and stuff like that. Well, I want to show you that I can get more laughs out of the word wank than your average comedian. And I think in some of my sets I've proven that. Literally I've turned wank is the punchline to
But you've got to be
10 of my jokes in some of my sets and they normally land.
And the rest of them are
a professional wanker to go blind though, haven't you? You've got to be really dedicated.
Well,
to go
Oh yeah, Mr. P, you tell us.
You've got to be dedicated to go for it.
There's
If
an
you're
old
going to
saying.
blow an eye while you're wanking,
There's an
it's
old
got to be
saying.
very violent.
And it's a Jerry Sadwick saying, and it's, I am a wanker's wanker. As much as like a comedian's comedian, and I'm definitely a wanker's wanker.
Yeah.
Well, there was this, it comes from a myth. There's a myth about wanking is that because you have zinc in your semen and you need zinc for for good eye function, that you could wank all the zinc out of your semen and you would have zinc deficiency and you would go blind.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And you listen to that and you're like, that is so obviously bollocks. But when someone tells you that, you're like, well, of course that's true.
Yeah,
that makes perfect
I never
sense.
had it described to me like that, and described that what the idea of it is. I always thought it's because in case you get it in your eye.
Oh, really?
Like in your eye.
Well,
It's going to happen. Yeah.
There's loads of those old wives' tales, like from like Christianity and various like religious things that didn't want you to wank about. This will happen if you wank.
Yeah.
And why do wives' tales know so much about wanking?
Yeah.
Why do they know so much about it? Have they experienced more than anyone else?
What?
What is wives' tales? I mean, you know, these wives just know so much, don't they?
Yeah,
They
it's
know
true.
blind
Yeah,
wanking.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's an old wives'
actually, blind wanking. What is blind wanking when you close your eyes and pretend you're not doing it? I mean, what is that? That could happen anywhere, couldn't it?
Well, there was
Tesco's, Morrison's, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You know the guy who, you know, Kellogg's, the actual man Kellogg's.
Mr. Kellogg.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Kellogg. He invented cornflakes, and do you know what he would advertise? He said that this is an anti-masturbatory thing.
Right.
Almost like a kind of snake oil. This will stop your kids from wanking. And that what? First
Well,
of all,
I've never wanked over a bowl of cornflakes ever. No.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty bland.
Right.
It's pretty
Oh,
dry.
come on.
Bicycles,
Come
yeah,
on, we've all
definitely,
done it.
but not.
We were doing it earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's sugar, isn't it? It's a bit, well, if you haven't got sugar,
Sugar.
Yeah.
you know, a bit like, it's
Well,
more salty actually. Now, I've never tasted spunk, so I'm sorry, you know.
Well, you got the-
I'm
you
sure
got
I've been
the
told it's
cornflakes.
salty more than
You've got the
sweet.
cornflakes with the
Yeah.
sugar on it, haven't you? So that, you know, and that's great. So I mean, that could be it, isn't it? You know, Frosties. You know, maybe
What are we
that's
fucking,
maybe that's the
what are we
end line
fucking
of having a
sponsored
wank.
by Frosties or something?
Yeah. That's
They're great!
You said that Target used to come out, didn't you? You know, yeah. I might get it wrong with something else. I don't know.
Mr.
They're great!
Yeah. This week's podcast is sponsored by Frosty.
Tony the Tiger!
That's right. They had a kind of sperm kind of coating, didn't they?
They did. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Did
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think
That-
sperm
I
was
thought
crystallised.
that when I was young, like 7, 6. I was like, this is a sperm coating. This is straight up.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
do you know what happened? I went
And that
to.
rots your teeth as well.
I went
So
to-
it's- yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Is that why you?
Exactly.
Mr. P has all false teeth.
Falls everything. Yeah.
It's just all been degraded
Yeah,
over
no,
time.
yeah. Well, I'm 52 now. It will have to be replaced. Yeah.
Nina, hand up.
Sorry, what does Nina want to say?
I just like to know, is that man wanking with 2 hands? Is happen?
Wanking with 2 hands.
Do men do it?
Yeah.
Well, and I don't claim to be an expert, but I have seen.
But you are.
But I am. Some people have greatness thrust upon them,
Yeah.
and some people I've seen wank with 2 hands, but it always looks very awkward, and it doesn't. It never like adds the let's say grace of one hand, you know, because some people have, you know, that men have like like sex toys, and they're mainly like just like smooth holes, like a fleshlight or something like
Do
that.
they? Oh, oh.
Have you not seen those? Have you
No.
not seen a fleshlight? It's
I've
a torch,
seen
but
some weird
like
stuff.
it's got like a pocket pussy. in
I've
it.
seen that on the internet advertised. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen people. Oh, I mean, let's phrase this gently.
Don't do it gently. Go for it.
I've been given the impression that people use 2 hands with that.
Me personally, I've struggled to use 2 fingers.
Oh.
I've never used the whole hand. So if you really want the details, I struggle. I'll be lucky to get 3 fingers on it.
Yes, that's a wasteful, isn't it? You use the other 2 fingers to do something else. You're like playing the piano.
Yeah!
Isn't it just 2 hands? Make you come faster. You got 1 hand and 2 hands.
Oh, you have
What's
to
the
have
other hand doing?
Playing with your balls! That's what
The
it's
thing is,
doing.
you have to have a really big dick, though. When you especially if you
No,
look
no,
at
no.
my hands.
No, Tom.
Wait,
I've
you
got
got
quite big
reclining rope, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. 1 potato, 2
I wish I
potatoes.
had a reclining rope, I'll tell you. Yeah.
No.
If you can get it like that, if you can do it like that, 1 potato, 2 potatoes.
No. I think what we're picturing is 1 hand and then another hand on top of it. So you're not climbing
Oh.
rope. You're almost using the other one as a brace. You know, in case that one like fails or falls behind, you got the other one to back it up. You know?
I've got a substitute hand. That's what I mean. Like I've never
It's
kind
like having a
I've
sub.
never gone like that with both shoulders,
It's
like jerking yourself
It's like-
off. I'd do that video.
it's like a sub in
But
in sports. The
but
other
what-
one's a back.
When I used it, this is a long story, but I can't use my right arm anymore because of my bad shoulder. So I've been. I'm now used to my left hand, and I now can't use my right anymore.
Right.
Jesus
Right?
Christ.
So that's a fucking true story, right? But,
Tom, I'll remind you, this is going out on the
but
internet.
I remember, I do not give an ounce of dog shit. But I remember wanking with 1 hand, and then when that gets tired, if you're having a long fucking session or whatever, I don't know why I'm looking at Mr. P so much.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And then you do this what I used to call. Then you do what I used to
I just
call
close the other
the
eye.
substitute.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Do you know what-
your turn. Fucking take over.
What I'm picturing.
Use the hands, whatever.
I only use one hand, but I make sure the seat that I'm sitting on has got a seatbelt on. I mean, it's always handy to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seatbelt.
I imagine you're swapping hands like Indiana Jones, like in the temple where he's got a bag of sand and it's slowly. So there's no second where hand is not in contact. You know.
Oh yeah, you can't have a break in between because you know any sort of break. It's like when you're really comfortable in a comfortable seat. And then I forgot to get my drink from over there. And you think, if I get up now,
So when you get
I'm
a phone
going to
call.
lose this little comfortable spot. And you think, I'll just remember where my leg is and all that. And you get your drink, then you sit back and you're like, no, it's not the same. No, it's not, I weren't like that. That's the same thing with wanking. If you stop that rhythm halfway through and you don't catch it, the same rhythm, you're like, nah, that's not the same. That's not what I was doing. I was doing it much more rigorously and much more passionately. Do it properly. And you
give it's almost like looking at, isn't it?
any break in between fucking fucks my flow.
That's right.
And then the same thing with sex.
I've gone off that politician, I moved to another one. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fuck's sake.
Yeah, so there you
get
go.
an audience.
What a terrible thing to start.
Lesbian.
This wanking, and in this much detail. God, anybody who's just like, imagine some people driving to work listening to this.
Can I just point out one thing for the listeners whoever for my mum and for Felix, the ones who listen to the show, and some other person.
179 times.
Yeah.
Right? Can I just point out that we have, by the way, we're sorry for the loud laughter that comes in because we just so happen to have the two loudest fucking laughers on the planet Earth.
In the world.
One of them, Nina, and the other one, Felix. Right? Felix is one of the funniest persons in the world. So
No, but I just happened to be sitting in a room with three of the most funniest fuckers I've ever fucking known.
Yeah, totally agree.
Really?
Totally.
Fucking hell, what about me?
That's what's making me laugh.
Nina, Mr. P and
I'm
Will. What
talking
about me?
about you, Tommy, Will, and Mr. P. And when we have the break, Will's gonna show us all how he wanks. How's that? Yes.
I didn't bring any binoculars.
But
How
wait.
annoying.
But wait,
Fuck you, Mr. P. Suck my dick.
Unfortunately, I'm wearing teeth.
Lick my fucking
but
balls.
wait, why
Jesus
do
Christ.
something like that during the break, Felix?
Well,
Because
because we're recording.
Want to know how fucking Will wanks.
It's going to be like, but the thing is, wanking is not something that easily lends itself to audio. I don't think it's not something that.
It's a visual thing.
They will
It is
get
a
it.
very visual
They will
thing.
get
It's a
it.
visual
They will get it.
I'll have to describe it. You know when you see those like instructional videos, like sex ed is like, this is how you put on a condom, and they describe it in detail.
Oh,
You'll have to
like
do that.
they do on television now. I've got this preview thing, right? And my brother, my uncle.
That's what you're watching on.
My
Preview.
brother, my uncle was talking about this last night. How when you got like they have this, I think it's called audio description,
It's a family conversation.
where they're describing what's going on. So like if you're watching Father Ted, he's like, Father Ted walks out of the office back into the thing. It's describing what's on the telly. You know that?
Yeah.
Fucking, I've got that on my telly now. I can't get the fucking thing off. And where was I going with it? What was you just saying?
We were talking about how a wanking doesn't, like, just on this tangent, how wanking doesn't lend itself to audio.
Yeah.
So we need audio description.
What you was actually saying was wanking to subtitles.
So yeah, what we need to do, what we need to do is when I put this episode out, is I will just do an audio narration over it. What Tom's doing right now, for the benefit of the people who can't see, is using both hands and mimicking wanking with both hands.
Yeah, that won't be jarring at all. If
No.
we suddenly like go out into fucking subtitles of Tom going, no, what Tom's like fucking David Attenborough.
Yeah. It'd be good to have
No, what we see Tom
Wanker.
do.
good to have a political broadcast, but with porn subtitles over it. That'd be great, wouldn't it be?
Do you need that like a sort of music background?
What, to have a wank?
Yeah.
The music background.
Yeah,
Well,
I can only do it if God Save the Queen is playing.
Really?
It doesn't work.
So-
For me, it's Anarchy in the UK.
Fucking
Ah, I see.
right.
Yeah.
No, be honest with you,
One's
sometimes
made
it
on
might be,
death's gum.
it
It'd
depends.
be I Did It My Way by Sid Vicious.
It depends on the mood of the wank. Sometimes you might have an angry wank, you might have a kind of cosy wank, you might have a kind of tired wank, or a stressful wank, or like different, depends on the mood. So if it's a nice kind of relaxing, I've just got out of the bath, you know, and I've already had about 3 wanks already.
Or a wank when
You
you
know.
think you shouldn't have it, but you
Yeah.
think you're going to do it.
You weren't
anyway.
expecting an unexpected wank.
Yeah. Think I should have a wank this time.
The
of day,
unexpected
but
wank.
you're not in the mood for it.
If
You'll
you
still
will-
go ahead with it.
If you
anyway.
will, a medicinal wank.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want a wank, but I'm going to have
It's what
one.
the doctor ordered.
Yeah.
The unexpected wank, and you're thinking, I did not think, I came in,
It's like
you know,
a
to get
prescription wank.
some bread and milk. I did not think I'd be wanking in the fridge.
And we're still fucking recording.
That kind of, but no, I get
I quite enjoy it.
music. And that
You
was,
get music?
like classical music. Nice bit of
Right,
Mozart.
okay.
Like a Mozart.
Yeah.
And,
Dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun, dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun.
dun.
And every string symphony that comes in, I try and strum on every string.
Do you ever
Dun 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 dun.
do you ever
Dun dun.
do you ever pick an instrument where you're like, all right, today I'm on the violin, and then the next one you're on the flute, you know?
Bongos. The didgeridoo is awkward. That's a weird one. Try and get that.
It's just one long stroke.
It's like-
Yeah, I could never come to the triangle.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, just doesn't work.
Just
No,
one
makes-
at the end.
Makes you want to think I should have finished before I started.
Right. So, I mean, like, I'll be honest with you. I could go on wanking all day long and talk about.
Can you
wanking
stop
all
doing
night.
it now, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you proved your point. Yeah.
I thought since we're on the topic, you know. But yeah, we can get another one at the hat.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, no cheating. No looking. Look, hold the hat up. Put your hand in.
Do you know what is very strange about when we do this is we all cheer like we weren't expecting. You know, we all
Exactly.
sort of
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
We're just
Yeah.
trying to bring some sort of imaginary
Yeah.
excitement to the show.
Well,
Yeah.
what you got, Tommy?
Oh, Pixies.
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 Oh, the band. Oh, fucking
I wonder who wrote
dear.
that.
Pixies. I used to be a haircut. That was a bastard haircut to cut. Do you remember
The
that thing?
Pixies.
Pixie haircut.
Pixie knob.
Yeah. Do you remember doing the pixie haircut in the 80s and all that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of short the back, the long fringe
That's
and all
it.
that. Oh
Felix,
god, it's been a nightmare.
knob.
You didn't like doing it? Why didn't you like doing it?
Because people would be so sort of fussy with it. But it used to be a structured haircut, which would be sort of short into the nape, long hair at the ends, and then long at the sides and the flips over things.
Yeah.
It'd be a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah.
But
Picture
there you
it.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
There you go. But that's a haircut.
as well as the haircut, it's
That's
also a
me,
band.
Yeah, it's also one of the best bands in Canada have ever produced. Well, Canada has got lots of good bands actually, but that's probably the greatest of
Do you know
all.
what? Do you know that story about how Kim Deal, the bassist, came
Yeah.
into it? Is that they are like was it Black Francis and who's the other guy? Joey. Is it Joey? Yeah, yeah.
Clark,
And, and they put an advert and they said female bassist must be into like some like Norwegian band, and then they were like, who's that? Like Paul, Mary, and who are those three? The folk singers who do Where Have All the Flowers Gone?
Yeah,
Two completely disparate things, and then Kim Deal shows up. She doesn't know how to play the bass, and so she just starts fucking learning it with them, and now she's like this amazing bassist.
she's fucking brilliant singer, songwriter as well though.
Yeah.
I don't know if she sung much, well, wrote much of the songs she sung, but I love when she sings, and I love it when every now and then you get a female vocalist that have that kind of very natural, and I'd say like Bjorka's got that sort of style as well in a certain sense, and the girl singer from Arcade Fire, and then you got you know, she's just like in heaven everything is white. She's got that very American, well not American but Canadian. It's just like
Twang.
unique sort of voice. She was, you got to remember, this band started, they influenced a lot like, in terms of
Nirvana.
Nirvana, from all like, a lot of the punk sort of bands that came about a bit later on from that. And they were influenced, the Pixies, also by like likes of Talking Heads and lots of the early punk bands, and they just mixed it all up.
Yeah, yeah.
And like some of their tunes, do you know much, Mr. P?
A little bit of it, yeah.
You'll know
I was
Where Is My
intrigued by
Mind.
Black Francis. That's a good name, isn't it? Black Francis. I quite like that.
Oh, it's quality.
It's like Lux Interior of the Cramps by
Yeah.
Hero. Lux Interior, that's a fantastic name. I
Yeah.
wish I would have thought of that. Lux
Yeah.
Interior. That's a wonderful name.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
You'll know Where Is My Mind? It plays at the end of Fight Club. But the
Right.
one
The main tune, I suppose, that everyone knows is "Here Comes Your Man." Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Yeah.
But do you know
That's very poppy for them.
they didn't like playing that song.
No.
They thought because it's almost kind of surf rock, you know.
But they never played it at the concerts I've seen them.
Yeah, they never. And you know, have you seen the video? The video
Yeah.
is they.
Just jumped off the rocks and that, yeah.
Yeah, they. No. That's the other one. Valoria. But the one with
I
Here Comes.
love that tune.
But with Here Comes Your Man, they didn't like playing that song, and so when they did the music video, they're like, we're not going to sing it. They're like, you have to lip sync to this, and they're like, we're not going to do it. And so you see throughout the video, it's them playing, but they just open their mouths and they just keep it open throughout the lyric.
And they're not intending to do it at all?
No, not at all. They're just like, well, they had to record it.
Valoria, if I was to ever have a daughter, she'd be named Valoria Matthews just after that song. That's
nice.
one of the best songs ever, that is. Beautiful fucking song.
Isn't
nice.
it? Do you know what it's about?
I've just got a friend who's had a baby girl and she's called her Tiggy.
Tiggy. That's more like a nickname, isn't it?
That's awful, isn't it?
I heard what it's
If
about.
your friend fucking hears this.
Tiggy, that's awful.
I heard what Valoria was about, and it kind of made me think, well, maybe I might not named it, but but no, I just like the certain lyrics in it are beautiful. Like when he says, just like when he sort of reading out the name, and like he says, my Valoria. Even I adore ya. That's a great lyric. Even I adore ya. It's also saying like even me.
Could you wank to
even
that?
I fucking adore ya.
Could you wank
I've
to
wanked
that?
to it hundreds of times.
Oh,
yeah.
It's boring.
Just imagine. I probably won't name it after my daughter then.
No. Because every time
Name
you
a
see
daughter
her,
after it.
we'll look at your daughter and think, oh god, that's so
My unborn
Yes.
imaginary daughter.
Do you know what it's like? It's like, have you ever you've been in a relationship with someone, or you have some association with a name, and like someone's like, isn't this a great name? And you only associate it with one thing, like an ex, or like a some weird person you met who like really who's weird and gross. There's some names I just associate it with like the kid in primary school who like ate his own bogies, and I'm like, I can't name anyone after that. It's just gross.
I've got definitely.
Who was that famous bloke who used to eat his own bogies on Big Brother? John McCrew.
Oh, McCrew, yeah.
John McCrew used to get. He said it was a healthy thing to do.
He said that, didn't he? But he's talking out his ass.
Is that a healthy thing to do?
I read a book.
No. He said that one doctor told me. He goes, well, one doctor told me that actually is good nutrients.
Right.
What dust and fucking particles of shit and dust in the air. Maybe I don't know.
I read a book that was like, why eating bogies is good for you. It's like one of those like kind of pop trivia. It's like, oh, why this is true and why that is true. And the only thing it said about it, it's like, this is like the title, you think, oh, it's going to have like some science behind it. The only thing is, it just means you're more in touch with your body. It's like, I don't fucking need that it's not worth it to eat my own bogies. I'd rather do anything else to get in touch with my body.
Start eating your own fucking toe jam as well then, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Fucking bogies.
Right.
Jesus.
I like how we spent 10-15 minutes talking about wanking, and then bogies came up and we were like, oh, what the fuck?
Let's go back to wanking.
It's gross.
Yeah.
What I thought I was going to say is like they tested, the reason why they think it's actually good for you, it's good to eat bogies, is because it tastes of salt. I thought that's what I was going to say.
Taste of salt?
Yeah.
Why would that be good for you?
Well, that's not good for you. I suppose it's just good because it tastes nice.
Oh, well, I mean, in that sense, anything's good for you. I mean, heroin's good for you because it just feels nice,
But it's not as good as we put the sprinkle of salt on top.
Yeah. Salt equals good is the message.
Heroin? Nah. Heroin was salty.
Not salty enough. Not salty enough.
Exactly.
It's weird though.
What's that? Water? Not salty enough. Need some salt in that.
That's right.
It's weird though, isn't it? Like,
there you go.
certain things like that.
I feel like I try and be a very positive person with my body and like sex and everything else, and then something will just come along where you're just like, I don't want to shame anyone, but at the same time, fuck that. It's like one of those things. It's like, I don't want to shame anyone for what they do in the privacy of their own bedrooms with consenting adults, and then you still hear about it, and you're like, still fuck no though. Still don't want to fucking deal with that.
Oh, what's this? Nina's picked up the hat.
Nina has sports. I was gonna talk about things that gross me out, but never mind. But Nina is forcing me to pick up the hat. Nina very subtly said, "Fuck this conversation."
Nina's being grossed out. Pull another card out of the hat and no fucking cheating.
This week's fake sponsor is brought to you by Mr. P's Mr. P Show.
Are you bisexual? Can't make your mind up if you like one or the other, so you choose both? Then you should shop at Buy Foods Corner Shops, catering for all your bisexual needs. At Buy Foods Corner Shops, we sell 50-50 bread. It's not white bread, it's not brown bread, it's both. We sell rosé wine. It's not white wine, it's not red wine, it's both. We also sell slightly salted butter. It's not unsalted or salted, it's both. Buy Food Corner Shops, now opening nationwide, which are open nearly every day. Buy Food Corner Shops, for people who just can't make their frigging mind up.
I am not cheating.
Can I just say?
picked one out the hat.
Can I just say? I think this is one of my favourite podcasts. It's so chill and it's so fucking interesting. And I tell you what, it's fucking polished. It's fucking polished.
You know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. It's probably, and I probably, like I was saying earlier, that, you know, I believe my whole life I've never been wrong. You know, I've always been right. I truly believe as well that this is probably, and I mean this from the bottom of my fucking heart, right? This is probably the greatest show on earth.
Fucking
You're
right.
right. I'll tell you what, I'm putting it out there right now. This is the fucking greatest podcast there's ever been. Not only that, the greatest radio show there's ever been.
Yeah.
The greatest get-together there's ever been. And I'm about to put out the greatest topic we've ever had.
Brilliant. Nice. Hey Tom. Nice segue.
Fucking great. Why? What? I don't know why I haven't made it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, with segues and presenting like skills like that. Even though I've got a speech impediment, my tongue's too big for my mouth, and I stumble on my words. Who gives a flying fuck?
You're made for radio, mate.
Yeah, I am. Right, next topic is. If I could, you know what? I'm having trouble with. Right, hang on. Handful of love, or a handful of love.
A handful of love.
Why is it that?
That's back
Is that what that says? Handful of love?
Handful of love is back down to wanking again.
It is, yeah.
Handful of love.
Mr. P, you're naughty.
I wonder what this podcast, which episode is going to be called.
Yeah.
Probably wanking.
I'd like to point out something. Is that
wanking weekend? Isn't it? The wanking weekend.
Yeah. Do you know what you do? Is you just cut that bit of us talking about wanking. You just post it again at this bit. Just have the exact same bit just posted twice.
And then Will can do a porno of having a wank, right? He can put that on you porn, right? And when we do the podcast, we'll have that X-rated, and we'll charge people to have a look. No, that's how people make money. If you want to go that way.
I'd like to point out.
Are we fucking recording?
Yes, we are. For fuck's sake.
Oh my God.
It's alright.
I'll have to say 30 Hail Marys.
It's alright. That's her fucking catchphrase. She says it every now and then. But yeah.
Who does? Jimmy G made me this one.
No, seriously. no, seriously. What?
Yeah, you're pulling my chain, Jimmy G.
Big shout out to Jimmy G.
I've actually been.
It doesn't matter. He never listens to the show anyway, does he?
Just no.
But anyway, that's fucking.
Big shout out to
handful of love. I mean,
handful of love.
What? A fistful of
big
dollars.
shout out to One Night Stand.
A handful of love. I don't know who wrote that really.
No.
I mean, like, what's the
Five guesses.
P in the building.
So you wrote handful of love then, obviously, as your topic, yeah?
No, I didn't write that.
Oh right.
You didn't. Fucking hell.
Which is actually surprising because if you look at some of these, there's actually a strong correlation between Felix's handwriting and something to do with sex.
Yeah.
Mine is all in block letters. Look.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, that could have been Joel K.
It could have been.
Handful of love.
Yeah.
You know what? He'd be back from the show. So
Do you know what?
Yeah.
He'll have to show us.
Handful of love. I could count
He
that
can
one
make a
finger.
movie as well.
Yeah, that's probably it. But I don't really know where we can go with that, really. Handful of love.
It's sometimes, do you know what is
One
quite funny?
industry.
Do you know what is quite funny about some of these is that someone writes such a specific phrase like, what the fuck am I supposed to think of that? It's like someone has an idea in their head that they want to talk about. It's just like, instead of writing something vague that we can all talk about, let me just write a really specific one that only I can talk
It's in
about.
their head, isn't it? It's getting into their head of like madness a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
I think the amount of like hours you watch other people's comedy, amateur comedy, like 2 hours a night, people like 20 to 30 people usually at open mic things. I actually think it drives you a little bit insane because you cannot listen to it's amateur comedy. Some of it's great and some of it is absolute garbage, and you cannot listen to that amount of comedy without losing your sense of who you are or what the world means.
Yeah.
You're just listening to even if it's brilliant, you're just like, I have no sense of logic anymore. I don't know what's happening.
Like, do you remember when you first started comedy and when you first started writing comedy, and then you got into that phase of where you couldn't stop writing about everything you was experiencing?
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually that stops and you're just like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
But there was a point where it's like everything I was looking for a joke.
Criticised everything.
Just like looking at it, I couldn't relax. I was like,
No.
I couldn't get my brain away from comedy. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I just want to watch the fucking telly for once
Yeah.
without thinking
It's
about
like running,
making
you
a
get through the
joke.
wall, haven't you? And then it comes clear.
And then you just started seeing everything as a joke and trying to make everything a joke. And you trying to be more funny than you was before, like with your friends. And you know you just was naturally having a laugh with your mates. You think, now I'm trying too fucking hard now. But there's a time when I just sort of stopped writing at all.
I'm happy to get one joke a week, maybe. You know?
Yeah, that's good going. I mean, I used to write a lot every day, but not anymore.
I think I sometimes look through some of my old notes, like when I first started out, or stuff before I was even doing comedy, before I was old enough to do comedy. I would look through some of that and it's like, this is some of the most, first of all, vague or just absolute garbage writing I've ever heard. It's just like, also, do you ever write something like as you're falling asleep or just as you wake up?
Of course.
And it's like 2 words and you look back at it, it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? And you're like,
The worst is when you've got something in your head and you never fucking write it down and you think, I'll remember that, and you never fucking do.
Worst thing is you remember it for a couple of days in a row and you're like, I'll remember this, and then the third day you're like, fuck it, I have no
And
idea
you've
what
lost it completely. And then you go back in your head trying to think of what was I thinking that day? What could I trying to see if you remember it, bring
like
it back.
retracing your steps.
Or you write something brilliant,
You think,
and you
oh, yeah,
wake up the
curry.
next day and read it, it's absolute drivel.
You think,
Oh, yeah.
I was eating
Absolute
curry. I was eating curry. Maybe if I eat curry again, the smell might bring the sort, you know, like this,
Yeah.
like exams. You know.
I was yelling at the neighbour, if I yell at him again,
But no,
I'll bring it back.
nothing comes, it never comes back. But I know fucking Felix, I know she does tons of writing all the time. Like she's got pages, I know she probably just writes non-stop. Don't you?
I write stuff that I wouldn't perform, I just need to write it down.
Yeah.
I think that's just called a journal.
And you never know when you might look back at it and think, hang on, I can use that now. That's irrelevant.
No, because at one stage I did want to write a book and I did start it, but I've shelved it, and then for me this is probably going to be better because, you know, I can just get that published. Maybe that's my legacy when
That'd be,
when
you
I've
know
gone.
what? That would
And
be
you can read that
an
in
awesome book.
fucking hell. You think
It
so?
would be.
It would be an awesome
Yeah, and
book.
I'll do
Thoughts
that.
of
I'll
feelings.
Could I just
design
use the
the
word
cover.
awesome? Right,
Awesome.
we'll edit that.
Yeah.
Like that, we'll do that.
Yeah.
That'd be a pucker book.
No, but
Tom said awesome earlier.
It'd be a blinding book.
I enjoy the writing.
No, I didn't.
I enjoy the writing aspect the most, you know. So for me, I think to go and perform, it's a bit like when we were kids, you used to go and get a record, right? You know, you get down there and you get it, and you get home, you peel all that off. There's the artwork, you open it, you put it on the record player, everything's on, you put your needle on, you've got that crackle, and then you get into the beat, and it's like, you know, everything's just beautiful. You know what I mean? That's, you know, that's really what it's about, isn't it?
So that was fucking a handful of love. It was a good
Whatever the
fucking,
fuck that
Handful of
means.
yeah, fucking good one.
If Joe K, if you wrote that, I want you to know sincerely from the bottom of my heart.
That's brought
'Cause it-
love.
you know
really
what?
Wankers in the
really
room.
fucking
Do
terrible.
you know why that's a good one, really, when you think about it? It's because it makes us really dig deep into like where we're
The
going to
most
fucking,
tenuous link.
how we're going to get a conversation out of that. And somehow we did. You know.
Every time, man.
It's
That's
gone-
why we're called the fucking Peckham poet, man.
That's
South London.
That's right. And I'm
Telling
about
ya.
to pull out another, even though it was me last time.
So all you haters out
someone
there,
else do
you
it? I
can
think-
hate as much as you fucking
I
like.
think Will Webb's going to pull it out.
Doesn't hurt me and it
I'll
doesn't
use my full
affect
name.
me. Fuck you.
I think Will's going to pull out a name out the hat now.
Alright?
I
So,
think we've formed a nice little gang here, Mr. P, don't you reckon?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mr.
That's
P in the
right.
house.
So-
This guy is rock and fucking roll, man. Sold his drum kit to buy a pram, man. That's rock and roll.
No, it isn't. I've
That's
told
the
you.
opposite of rock and roll.
man.
I've told you
If I had
before.
the baby to get the drum
That's
kit,
the
then
op-
that would have been.
yeah, that would have been rock and roll.
That would have been
That's
Sell a
exactly
baby.
it.
You could buy 100 drum kits for the price of baby goes
Yeah.
for, I imagine.
Absolutely.
I imagine people
If
want
I went
babies.
to a band, they said, this guy here, he sold his baby to some random person on the street for a drum kit. So fucking, I would rock even harder.
It's the opposite of rock and roll, just sell
Well, the
your
drum kit
instruments.
was made out of the baby skin. That would be even more
Yeah,
rock and
yeah.
roll, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Ugh.
Is that too far, is it?
Fuck you. Anyway,
So, next topic
Cool,
out of that.
yeah.
alright, so CGI movies, good or bad? Now, I don't know what a CGI movie is. Does that mean CGI in movies or just the concept of an animated movie?
But, well, new CGI type of over the top, that computers, that shit, actually. I
Do you know what film I watched quite recently? It's a Bollywood film, and it's a really good. It's like an epic. It goes over 2 films, and each one's like 3 hours. And it's called Bahubali, and it's about this. It's like an epic kind of like almost like folkloric or fantasy like thing about this lineage and stuff like that. It's really fucking interesting, but it's so not bothered with whether or not it looks realistic. Like you see, like it's so doesn't give a shit. Like at one point they are sieging a fucking like walled city, and do you know how they do it? Is they all line up on palm trees that they've bent over, and they've all lined up with shields, and then they let go of the palm trees, and they all fling up, and then as they're spinning, all of the shields come in, and all the people come in, so it forms like this cylinder. And then they fly over the city and hit the arches on the wall, and they all come out just perfect hero poses.
That is bad.
And I'm just, and like, but I love it in a way because every time you see CGI, or like all the animals are CGI to avoid like cruelty and stuff. The one guy this goes like beating up a bull, and it's just like so obviously. But I love that the film is like, fuck you, this is what's going on. If you don't believe it, it's your fault. All right. We're preventing like this bull that is like 3 times the size of a normal bull, and the guy one-handedly beats it up.
I can imagine Bollywood films overdoing CGI because they overdo a lot of the sort of stuff, the way they do things. Everything's sort of highlighted, isn't it?
What American films are like that as well.
And the superhero films are really funny.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the concept of it.
Well,
that must be funny.
It doesn't have that kind of because America is a lot really over the top compared to a lot of European films. So I think there's this attitude of just like some people think that films are supposed to be realistic, but like before, before that, during the Romantic movement, nobody gave a shit about whether things were realistic. It was about whether things gave you an emotion. I think
That's right. Yeah.
I think Bollywood films are very much like we want you to feel something, and we do not care if it could not happen.
When it first started to come out as like Jurassic Park, the first film come out, it really worked. Like,
Yeah.
It was like, wow, they look real, and they look like, they didn't look like puppets. But what's happened to the human eye is we've become evolved to it now, where we can see CGI more now. It stands out. It doesn't look real. Like you can tell a CGI character from a real character, or when they used to wear like the suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
CGI.
Big
Like,
fucking tennis
the
ball.
only time I think they've ever really got it right, and even when I watch it now though, is like Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
It's amazing. But when you still watch it now, because you just at the time it was relatively new, the CGI shit, and what they were doing with it. And when you watch it now, it's just so obvious they're not in the same place, or it's just not the real.
That's
Just,
the
not
thing.
the right lighting and
I
stuff.
think, but the thing is, Jurassic Park used a lot of. They did use CGI, but it was like darkly lit. And if you have something that's quite darkly lit, it usually goes over everything. But they used a lot of puppetry. Like, have you seen? Is it 80s? The Thing, where they're on the.
Of course,
on the
1,000 times.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant film. Like, cause that was
All
based off.
latex and everything.
Yeah, it was all practical effects,
It
and
was.
you can kind of tell, but because it has that visceral feeling, you're like, that thing is fucking great. Like at one
The
point,
head turned into the spider.
yeah. Or when there's the dog and it opens its mouth, it like splits
Yeah.
open, and it
Well, it's
scarfs
Alan
out.
Moore, isn't it? So.
Because they use a lot
Like,
of
he's
antiques,
a
don't
guy
they?
who's a guy who wrote fucking loads of fucking stuff. He wrote I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's that comic film. What the fuck is it called? The Watchmen.
Watchmen.
He
Oh
wrote that.
yeah.
He wrote the English. What's that fucking Guy Fawkes kind of guy? I can't remember the fucking name.
Oh,
of it.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. That's Alan Moore. He wrote
Right.
the Thing. I think.
Did
No,
he?
that's the movie, but I know he wrote he's wrote Swamp Thing.
Right.
Oh,
so-
completely other.
Yeah.
I love that Tommy. You went on this little minute round, couldn't
Yeah.
think of it, and it was wrong in the end
Yeah.
anyway.
And there's going to be, if like Alan Moore fans of this day will be very disappointed. I get that one.
But the Thing was originally based on like.
Just jump in, you don't have to boss it, jump in. No one stop when you're talking.
No, because you guys were in a really nice flow and I didn't want to
Come in.
interrupt.
Come in.
No, can I
Felix
just
put up her hand
no,
to say
well,
something.
No,
Yeah, Felix should put her hand
because
up.
but you've got to respect me. I'm
Other than
actually,
the CGI.
That's good, of course.
I'm
yeah.
learning. Do you know
That's
what
good.
I mean? It's like there's no tears now. We're all good. We're real bonding. We're real close, and that's just out of politeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what are you going to say?
I went to some pretty tough fucking schools when I was a fucking kid. I could tell you some stories about them, but that's another time. Now, I just want to say, right, the brain cannot distinguish between your shoot 'em up on your fucking big 60-inch TV playing your fucking Xbox, you know what I mean? Eating Doritos and fucking Pringles, washing it down with Coca-Cola. smoking you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm saying, right? It's like the brain can't distinguish between that, a fucking movie, whether it's CGI or fucking good effects, whatever, and the real thing happening in front of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't distinguish. That's why it's easy to descend into the level that we're descending into.
Sorry,
You know what I
sorry.
mean?
So are you blaming violence on video games? Is that what's happening?
Well, I'm going to tell you something else. My generation invented fucking Pac-Man and Space Invaders. You know,
And everyone
that's
that went
another
around
fucking story.
eating people.
Yeah.
Just fucking tom.
People were addicted to TikTok.
And eating ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it does in a little way. It does. I mean, like that.
Really?
Topic, when
Is
it
that
terms
what we're
of,
doing?
not completely like I do believe certain movies and maybe certain games does influence generations of certain young generations to do certain things and go a bit differently. And it's definitely like, for example, I remember when me and my mates went to cinema and we saw fucking Gangster #1. Right, before we went in there was like it's this
You're
cinema.
gangster #1, man.
Right, before we went in there was this cinema and it was like full of just other gangs and kids just running around fighting each other. And we was only a group of three, me, my mate Noel and my mate Dean. And we were just the three of us and we were like, fucking hell, it's on top of it. We went and saw this movie. Movie's so violent. And we came out of that cinema looking for a fight. I'm saying, yeah, we literally came out.
Got you going.
Okay, now if they want it now, we'll have it. It's like, it definitely in certain,
I like.
if you know, certain, it definitely influences people, movies and music.
But
without
it's not the idea that though you would have never have done it if you hadn't seen that film.
Mind you, when I went to see Mamma Mia, I wanted to come out and kill everyone either as well. So,
yeah.
oh, sorry, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that made me very violent watching that film. Yeah, and the Sound of Music. Bloody hell.
Well, you just not like music?
Well,
You just don't like women.
No, I like women, but not
For example,
singing women. No.
You don't like women singing.
Singing women.
That's what the idea.
Very
That's
popular.
awful.
To,
Yeah.
to beat up Mamma Mia and the Sound of Music, we've come to the conclusion
No
you
women,
just don't
should,
like.
no women should sing.
You don't think-
just, no, they should ban all women.
You don't like-
singing.
unless it's Mary Lord.
Mary Lloyd?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
No.
Unless it's
My old man
Oh, right.
follows the van.
Right, okay.
And oh, dilly dally on the way.
Right, okay.
I won't sing it all.
No, don't.
it's just the rest of the podcast
But
is you singing these
she's
songs.
a great singer of all time because she was shit, right? But she knew she was shit. No, this is on QI, I saw this and it's brilliant.
Right.
She said, I'm sure it's her they're talking about. But she said, everyone says I can't sing, but no one can say I didn't sing.
Yeah.
Isn't that a fucking great fucking way out?
Yeah.
Was it? People didn't like. Loads of people would buy tickets to her show.
Oh, she was brilliant.
just to laugh at her.
She had you know, don't day on the way.
Yeah.
She was proper ringing for your ears, horrible sometimes. But I love, me personally, you have to suppose, mate, I have to be a Londoner.
That was
So
real London pub.
to me,
on
it
the
sounds
old
good.
Johannes.
I love that sound. I love her sound of her voice. She sounds hearty.
Yeah.
And, you know, it relates to my sort of family and that. So
Yeah.
I love it. But I can understand if other people listen to think, the fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking Mary Lloyd. Yeah, like you say, all singers,
When-
apart from Janis Joplin and Mary Lloyd, all the rest
Okay.
can go fuck off.
Yeah.
When was Mary Lloyd about? Wasn't she about in the 19th century?
Oh yeah, she was old, like
Yeah.
late sort of Victorian time, late, well, no, like early
Yeah.
sort of fucking.
But she
before
was
the war.
so bad and therefore so funny that she had like a cult following.
Yeah.
People like loved her.
Of course, she was massive and absolutely massive in fucking England, massive.
Yeah.
Like that was a massive tune back then. A lot of them tunes were massive. Like you know, this is doing the Lambeth Walk. All them tunes back then were big. Like they were the only things they used to listen to.
Yeah.
Like even that old tune, Run Rabbit,
Yeah.
Oh god.
When you think about it,
Yeah.
that was like the biggest tune. Like sold loads of records. You think like everyone would dance to that.
That was top of that was top of the pops for them.
But when you listen to it, it's just a nice tune. You know, there's like one lyric in it I like, and it's like, it talks to the farmer. He'll get by when Bounty's rabbit pie.
Yeah.
So run the rabbit, run. But I can just imagine old people just put like dancing, just putting the legs out. It's
Yeah.
like, run,
Get the
rabbit,
zippers out.
run, rabbit, run,
Go.
run. Yes, run, rabbit, run.
Look at the young ladies bring this
to them,
skirt
that's
up
like
a
a
bit.
drop to us nowadays.
That's like a bass
That's
drop.
like a drop. That's like, do you hear that drop?
Yeah.
And then Eustace and Bethany, they used to absolutely crump to that. That's
Yeah.
what they would do.
But I would go back to that sort of time just for a night, a little music like that in a heartbeat. I love the old tunes. I actually would like to become a Pearly King of Peckham when I'm older. I don't know if by the time my generation gets to that age, whether they still have Pearly Kings in London. I don't know. And Queens.
You don't see a lot of them now, do you?
No, but I mean, like, there's the Pearly King of Peckham. He's a brilliant fucking fella. He's got, you know, and they all know the tunes. They still go to the pubs and they perform the old tunes.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is the Pearly King?
Pearly
You
King
don't know
was.
Pearly King?
No.
You see them, and they normally wear black suits with
Yeah.
like silver pearls or you know, like kind
Silver
of silver
buttons,
pearls.
isn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically,
buttons.
they're just like traditional old like sort of back in the day they were entertainers, storytellers, and singers and stuff like that, representing parts of you know, parts of the borough of London and stuff like that. So you had Lambeth, you even had Marylebone, even like you had Pearly King of Lewisham, Pearly King of Peckham, Pearly King of each borough basically.
What did they do?
There's only a few left.
Yeah.
They sung.
They sung basically, yeah, and just turned up.
A lot of
at
charity
events.
work and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But we used to go to a pub, didn't we?
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was, and there was always Pearly King and Queens.
Yeah.
Piano, got the old pub going.
But I would like, when I'm older, to keep the tradition going. If you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, people might laugh at me about it, but I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'll be
Yeah.
the Pearly King. I know all the
We'll
songs.
stick some buttons on your
I'm already the Peckham poet. I might as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My dad is
Queen.
quite old, and so he's always like from a young age he's been playing like really old records and stuff like that. And so I just know all this so I end up just knowing like you know in like games like Fallout or like something where they have like a retro like thing, and you listen to it and you're like, oh, I know all these songs, and then you're like, God, my dad is fucking old. He's just showing me like stuff from the 1940s and stuff like that. It's just like, why are we listening to, you know, and I still love it, but I'm still like, it's just a constant reminder. It's like, God, he is getting on.
I remember I went to a girl's house I was dating years ago, right? And her parents were pretty weird, bit sort of bit eccentric, weird sort of folk. And I remember it reminded me a bit of Jeepers Creepers, you know, like
Right.
Jeepers Creepers. They kept playing this record, they had this old record player, and they kept putting these, because they knew I was in the band and I was playing, so they kept, that was their relation to me. Oh, you like music? We used to play music, Tom. And all that. And then they kept going to the record player and putting on these ridiculously old fucking jazz tunes. Just like, and they were literally like, what do you think of that? And I was like, oh, fucking freaked out right now. It's like, but the whole time I was just like, yeah. And I was trying to think of something nice to say about it. I like the way they've, you know,
Invented
You couldn't think anything good to say.
yeah.
I like how they're the first people to ever sing on record.
Yeah. Wonder if they can play that tune just the fuck up. I wonder if they can play that. But
I wonder if they can play that tune really, really quietly.
Yeah.
But I just reminded me at the time, because that film Jeepers Creepers I think was out, the second one. I remember that music, it reminded me and freaked me out a bit about it. And I was thinking, like, I'm just going to get a crazy sort of jazz, a goblin demon following me.
I like the idea. I like the idea
Wanted to
that
steal my penis for, you know, like, yeah, because my penis is so good.
I like the idea that you these parents didn't actually exist and you were just haunted by
Oh yeah,
the
it's
ghosts.
totally true, because I just made that all up. Yeah. So
No. I mean the idea that you like.
Oh, I'm serious.
I like the idea that you tell this story and then you like call it like, oh, what about those two people who showed me records? It's like, they died 20 years ago. You're like, oh no! Like they've been haunting you. I wonder why they dress so old.
They
They're like
died.
from the 1800s.
They're one of those old banger cars that you had to, you know, like the old
With a
proper
crank.
first cars that came out on a summer's day, like
It went 8 miles an hour.
And it just crashed over, blood all over the place.
And now you are haunted by these jazz ghosts.
Yes. Every time I hear that kind of rhythm with a kind of an old trumpet and a little bit of few strings going on, I think those fucking freaky parents. I could have been my fucking, you know what I mean?
And of course at the end they held
Father-in-law,
hands.
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
They held hands and they said, come play with us.
Yeah, do you ever got naked, Thomas, and sat in the garden?
Have you ever got naked to jazz?
Yeah, but at my own ass. not like. So anyway, Felix is turn to pull something out.
No,
Yes, I think it is.
it's Mr. P.
Oh, you're right actually. Mr. P hasn't had it for a while.
Ooh,
He hasn't had it in years.
Yeah.
Have I known
So get ready, everybody. Mr. P,
Right.
pull one out of the hat.
Let's pull out the hat. Here we
Let's
go.
get another one out of the hat before we call it.
It's what's this say?
Why is it that none of you can read?
I can read, I just can't
It's
see.
because you lot can't fucking spell.
This
True.
one,
True.
coconut.
Coconut, brilliant.
Oh,
Coconut.
fuck.
Oh
sake.
man.
coconut. What
Where
the
are we
hell
gonna
can you
go?
say about
See?
coconut?
Do you believe in fate and destiny,
Oh my
Nina?
God.
Is that fake,
You know what I
Felix?
mean?
That coconut's been
Yes,
pulled out?
it is. It
Is
is.
it?
That's
What-
important. That for
right.
me, that's a sign.
Okay.
That's a sign that you put that in there
Sign.
today because you was
What?
making coconut stuff.
Can I tell you something?
And that's what that sign is.
I will stand there before him and swear on whatever it
What,
is
before
that's
Mr.
out
P?
there that I did not write that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I believe you, totally.
That ain't my writing. I'll
Right,
show
then,
you
hang on,
my
let me see it
writing.
then.
Yeah.
You're right,
Yeah.
you do big
That's why
writing.
I'm
That's right.
saying to you,
Yeah.
look, here you go.
That is strange.
Don't scream that one out, but that's how my writing.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
I
okay.
wonder if that's the great semi-seeders writing.
Right, okay.
Semi, mate, you
Well, I've
might
got nothing
not
to
be
say
with
about
us.
coconut at all.
Hey, Semi, you might not be with us, but you missed out on a good dessert, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ain't it, Nina? Nina, give it the Thailand seal of approval. We're gonna market this stuff, shall we?
Sure.
Oh yeah, man, you could sell that to supermarkets, everything, man.
Do you know what I found?
Me
Is
and
that
Nina
the best
could-
time to market your food is in the middle of a
We could
podcast.
do
Yeah.
that. We keep that. Hey, let's keep that our secret.
Yeah.
Right.
Shall
We
we?
just said it.
Yeah, if anyone
High
listens,
five, darling.
if anyone listens to the
I'm telling
podcast,
you, isn't it?
wants to know, but yeah, buy food of Felix and Nina,
Yeah.
right? They will give out the details at the end of the podcast and the credits, right? But you can buy food off them, and you know.
We got a
And
little
desserts,
secret
coconut desserts.
that's gonna make you so happy, man, isn't it, Nina? Don't you worry, man.
That's right.
Woo, baby.
And that's coconut.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Coconut.
Oh, and that's come back to me now.
It
Yeah, I
has,
think it's
Mr.
good.
Tom. It
Okay,
has.
so I'm about to pull the last topic out of the hat.
You're
I
about
believe.
to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
I think this is going to be the best. Like I
The
say,
best.
The best one.
Save
Okay,
it
it's
for
already-
last.
It's already, Tom, we've already all agreed that it's the best podcast. So if
That's
this
right.
is going to be the best topic, then
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to literally die
They're gonna
from
fucking-
entertainment.
yeah, they're going to fucking come in their own pants, is what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, this says, beware of the dog.
Beware of the dog.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Right.
I
So,
mean,
beware of the dog is an old. Do you remember when they used to have, when the old, you used to go past someone's house back in the day?
yeah, of course.
And
yeah.
on the front, the kitchen window, they'll have a picture, beware of the dog.
Yeah.
Just warn off the burglars in the house and stuff like that. Always thought, beware of the mother-in-law, whatever like that. Beware of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put a picture of your mum there, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or beware of the knob, which is me. There's a knob in this house. Beware of it.
It's like
It'd be much better beware of the knob rather than beware of the dog, wouldn't it? That
But
would be-
yeah, but I've seen jokes that you don't see them in the windows no more. But I've seen people used to start doing jokes. Beware of the cat. You know,
Oh,
where-
right.
Or they have a picture. Beware of the dog, and it's a picture of a little tiny dog. Like that.
Yeah.
Just advertising. We have dogs in this house. But
Yeah,
It's
it's
only
like,
bad with cars where they have baby on board. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, that-
stuff.
yeah.
Treat me special for God. That's what.
yeah, don't kill my baby. What a
Yeah,
ridiculous
that's
thing
right.
to want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby on board.
Fuck
yeah.
your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus.
right.
I think it's I can't
People
remember.
should stop having babies, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know,
Yeah.
Mr. P is actually a fascist, aren't you?
Yeah, I just don't like kids.
and like cars.
You have
I
children.
mean, I've got one, but she's not a kid, she's 25, so.
Let's hope she doesn't fucking hear this. She's just listening as she's got a cereal and she's about to have a good day and then she
Yeah.
hears that. And she's
I
like, oh,
always-
cheers, Dad, appreciate
I
it.
always thought it'd be funny though to just have one of them on your car, and not have a baby on board ever.
No.
But just have one, just so you can get, you know, through traffic a bit more courtesy from the other
Yeah.
drivers.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Never
do-
have a baby. Because what they're going to do is stop and think, oh, it says baby on board. Let's just check that though. Is there a baby on board?
They always
even,
just
even have a dummy one. Have a dummy baby.
have a dummy and then just tape it to the top of the
Say,
car.
oh mate, I've got a fucking dummy baby back here.
Or if you
Get me
stopped
through."
the car and the baby's driving the car, that'd be more interesting,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, that is
How would you do that logistically?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just making it up for the podcast.
No, you can do
Oh,
that.
is that what's happening? Is that we're making up
Do you
scenarios?
remember?
Oh, right, of course. I forgot that this wasn't Dragon's Den.
No,
Do it,
that's
you can
right.
put a leg over, right, and then sort of
I'm
try
sorry.
to steer put a leg over the seat,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
right, to,
Have a
to
baby
where the
seat, yeah.
baby's like,
Yeah.
and then like sort of steer it, pretend you're just a passenger,
Yeah.
and steer the car.
How are you supposed to have, but you have to accelerate and...
Looks like the impression I'm doing looks like I'm wanking someone off from this.
Again, it doesn't lend itself to audio media, does it?
no.
But
That's what I'm saying.
no, but in order to drive a car, you need two legs over for like, you know, acceleration
Watch
and
the
stopping,
video when it comes
and the
out.
clutch as well.
Would say? I missed it. It was funny. What was it?
Private joke.
Oh, right, okay.
On the show.
I'll listen back on the, you know what I mean? It's all recorded.
We'll listen back on the edit and we'll boost it so everyone hears it. Just to fuck with everyone.
Yeah, Beware of the Dog, that's fucking weird how we got round to that from that.
Yeah.
Beware of the Dog. But you don't remember them signs, you ever seen them signs?
I have seen, I only ever see like ironic ones. Like it's a picture of a chihuahua like, oh, we're funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you get it? Do you get it? Because you shouldn't be afraid of a chihuahua.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
So those horrible signs, we may be mad, but no. What was it? The work ones, which are terrible. So you don't have to be crazy in here, but it helps. And all these stupid bloody signs.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say. The worst ones, I live on the seafront, they're like, you go to a cafe, you've got a sort of like an old board, which has all been worn. It's got coffee, tea, British, and ice cream. You think, what the bloody hell is all that? It's utter nonsense. And they sell for big money.
Yeah.
I think like beaches here and all this crap and, yeah.
You don't like people-
Deck chairs, 50p each. You think, God, what the...
Well, the people hanging their hose.
They just have them all in the cafes, yeah, absolutely. Like fish and chips, there's a burger bar, they've got fish and chips outside up and everything. Yeah,
But it's
so,
there's so
people are
many
mad on signs, aren't
use the sort of sayings and that now, and there's all like, you know, the Italian one there, see it, say it, sort it, whatever it is. Whenever you go on
fuck me.
every time I hear that, I just want to scream out in the middle of the station, fuck it, how about that? How about did it, done it, and fucking doing it, right now.
I'm getting the
Fuck
impression.
it!
That make a much better sign, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Someone's going to crack one day, the guys that do that. Remember, see it, say it, and fucking so I'm sick of saying that fucking words. Just fuck that.
I didn't know you were so like opposed to being told things. that
No,
aren't
just
true.
saying, I mean, come on, that is so fucking honest. Remember, see it, say it, sort
It
it.
does have this kind of government, like, you know, patronising element to it. It's just like you need to do something, and we can only tell you if it's alliteration.
Remember,
You're not going to remember if we don't dumb it down.
remember, eat it, roll it, and put it in the bin. Remember, walk, left, right. It's just fucking concept. It's bollocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to you like kids, really, innit? See it, say it, sort it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's
But
kind
they
of.
never have useful signs, do they? Like saying, don't, stop washing your cock on the curtains or something like
Yeah.
that. They never have stuff like that.
Especially
They're really-
curtains, you know.
I've actually found that they're rarely that specific, to be honest. They're more like, and to be honest, to be fair, they're usually about the train as well, not just general life advice.
First time on the podcast, we might actually get. Oh, I thought you were snoring there.
Do you know what I
Nina.
thought she was as well?
Oh, it's a shame. I really thought we was going to get a first snoring on the
Did you
podcast.
start?
Ah,
No.
it's a shame.
Oh, I thought you were starting to snore. I
Oh,
heard that as well.
dear.
Hey, are we recording this?
Yes.
No, seriously, are we recording this?
No.
Yeah, of course we are.
Jimmy G in the building! Oh, I miss
What's that?
everything down at the den, I really fucking do, I tell you, that's been the hardest part, everything else I can deal with. You know what I mean? That's been the hardest part, but you know what, getting together for this, man, this is like coming to the best church in the world, but we ain't religious.
I'm kind
We've got our own fucking religion now, you
I'm
know
kind
what
of
I mean?
really disappointed that wasn't the snore then. That would have been a perfect, funny ending for the show. To just like say, all right, guys, we're not going. What we're going to do is just leave it recording. We're going to go in the kitchen, and you can just listen to this, and just have a, for the last like 30 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just her snoring in the background. That would have been really ideal.
Yeah.
We lost that. We missed that opportunity. But anyway,
Yeah,
we're
make
pretty
sure you
much.
fall asleep.
We're pretty much coming to the end now, pretty much, don't you think, guys?
Yeah.
I think we've gone through tons of subjects today.
Hey,
What's that, Felix?
Felix, sorry for all the people
Armour.
at home. Felix has
I
our
gotta
armour
do
again.
my beware of the dog.
Well, do it. You should have done it when we was on this subject.
To be
Jack.
honest, it works better if you
No,
say it while we're talking about
No,
it.
no,
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk over you and get into
No,
trouble.
no,
But you don't have to put your hand up, you can just jump in.
I've
No.
got good manners. I went
No.
to a tough school. I told
jump
you.
into
That's
the
another
conversation.
story there, but I'm just saying, can I just say something?
You jump in like we all do.
Beware of the dog. Beware of the dog. Yeah, I'll tell you what, right? Fucking dogs, man. They're the first ones to fucking sniff you out at the airport. They'll rat you out. They'll look at you. They know that. You know what I mean, right?
Those
I'll tell
fucking
you.
dogs.
Dogs and grasses.
Can I
Dogs
tell
and
you-
grasses.
Can I tell-
I
can I
don't
tell-
that came before.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
can I tell you something, right? It's been a good fucking 10 years, 11 years, man, who's counting since I went home, because the trip back home, man, was a disaster from fucking word go, you know? Tested for fucking bombs at the airport. Yeah, that's another story. We're going to do that one on here, you know, for security reasons. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
This whole podcast.
But can I just say something? You weren't allowed to take fucking liquids on the fucking train, no perfumes, deodorants. Can you imagine what you're gonna stink like when you get off the other side? I had to run into duty free and just grab anything, and the girl come up to me and starts talking to me about this fucking perfume, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing it all over me, and I'm like, that's really nice. I said, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna have a look around. I was out the door, I get through, there's a massive fucking queue, right? I'm on this long fucking flight, I'm stinking now, this cheap fucking sweet perfume from the bloody duty free, right? And I get there and this fucking dog comes over to me and starts loitering, you know what I mean, right? I'm telling you.
The grass.
I don't want to go through Melbourne, I want to
Fucking
go
grasses.
through fucking Sydney, you know what I mean? We might have to edit that one out, right? You know what I mean?
We
Anyway,
can't mention that. We can't mention Sydney. It's against the rules.
I'm just gonna
Sydney would not have it.
I'm just
Sydney
Sydney,
will be up in
No,
arms.
Sydney Poitier.
Can I
we won't have
just,
it.
can I
He's
just,
dead, isn't he?
I'm gonna just cut this short, yeah?
No, wait.
Isn't he?
What?
Excuse me,
Sydney Poitier.
excuse
Sydney
me, what?
Poitier is dead. You're joking. Since when? Oh, I'm really sad.
Excuse me, now who's butting in? I got told off a few
Maybe
weeks
I'm
back
thinking of
and
a
now it's
different
been
guy
done
who
to
died
me.
much.
Can I just finish? I'm just,
Of
no,
course
let
you
me just, no, seriously. No, seriously, see, Jimmy G was right. No, seriously, I'm gonna say, it ain't the dog on the way out that was the problem. It was the one on the way back, and I ain't been home for 11 years, say no more. Anyway, that's it. Well, I had a really good time, you know, it's all been very nice. I've enjoyed your company, but now it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye.
Right, yes, thank you very
I'm only
much.
joking.
I love that though, that about you turning dogs into being grasses. Can I just say, can I wrap up the show with that, right? Because
That's what
that's
should
it.
be well
Because
done.
dogs actually are slaves in that sense. They
They
don't
are.
want to grass us up.
No.
They want to sit around and let us stroke us while we're smoking weed. Trust me,
Yeah.
stroke us. That's what they want to do. They don't want to grass us
Well,
up.
they
And
want it for themselves.
they don't want to go
Right.
searching for bombs with their noses either. Trust me,
No.
they don't want to do that. We make them do that. And we make horses go into fucking right situations as well. They don't want to fucking be
Do you
there
know
as
what?
well.
Do you know what I saw the
So,
other
yeah.
day? Is
But
that
dogs are grasses in that sense, but they're really slaves.
Do you know what I saw the other day? Is because bees and insects are very sensitive to certain smells and chemicals, and they were training bees to respond to the smell of drugs so that they could get because they have much more sensitive
Ah,
senses.
see what I
I
mean?
could
When is
just
it going to
imagine out
end?
of the airport, couldn't you?
They just
For a
have
load of bees.
You just have a swarm of bees, and
Yeah.
each one has a lead on it, and you're
Yeah.
just letting it buzz around the airport. You know.
Absolutely.
See, they're buzzing. Why can't we be buzzing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
But brilliant
They
joke
go
to end on.
together and then just pointing.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, like, when is it going to bloody end? Stop using animals for our own shit.
Stop using animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just stop using animals, right? Basically, smoke more fucking ganja, listen to our shitty podcast, and stop using animals.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with that. Thanks for listening. Listen to us next time. This is going to be good. Got some more guests come turn up. We've got Grandad might be turning up next week.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be good.
Fabulous.
So thank you very much. Us.
Us.